I'm getting concerned about my garden. Not quite worried, but I'm getting close. This is late February and things are just not the way they're supposed to be. Join me today in this second of a series where I'm in my garden showing you what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, and what's happening. Hi, I'm Gardener Scott, and I don't remember when I've ever been this busy in my garden at the end of February, because the weather is beautiful. I'm outside every day getting things done. The things that I've been accomplishing here in February are the things I would normally be doing in April or maybe in early May, because we have a very unusual weather pattern here in Colorado. It's morning, and right now it's already risen to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's going to get warmer through the day. For the next week, every night will be above freezing. That's unheard of. I've lived here in Colorado almost 30 years, and I've never seen this in February. So, while it means I can get out and start working in the garden, it also means that my garden is confused. My garden is beginning to think that it is April. My plants are waking up. The trees are starting to bud, but it's still February. A year ago, I was doing a lot to keep my greenhouse warm at night because I started growing strawberries in my green stock inside. And the frigid days of February and the colder nights meant that the greenhouse was getting very cold. So I started using supplemental heat to keep the temperatures up. These days, I'm keeping the doors open during the day because the temperature has already risen near 100 degrees Fahrenheit during these hot days. I'm doing everything I can to keep my strawberries cool. The strawberries are enjoying these warm temperatures. They're staying green. In fact, I have some flowers that are already developing. I'm going to have strawberries very soon. The biggest issue I'm confronting is the heat is actually drying out my soil throughout the greenhouse, and the temperatures are baking these plants. So I've lost some of the plants to the heat and the dryness of winter, completely different than what I had last year. So I've had to increase my watering schedule, unheard of in February. And this is a hose with a watering wand attached to it. If you live in Colorado, you might find this highly unusual because normally at this time of year, the hoses are frozen or water is turned off. I've never had to water my entire garden using a hose in February. And now I'm doing it every week for this month and the foreseeable future, because not just the strawberries in my greenhouse are awake, but the strawberries outside are awake too, and getting dry and getting overheated for this time of year. So watering has become a regular activity in my garden. This is something I normally don't start doing until April. One of the activities that I typically save for March is to clean up my grasses. I have a lot of ornamental grasses in the garden. They're wonderful for attracting different type of beneficial insects, and I like the way they look. And so usually in March, I'll come in and I'll start cutting back the grasses to allow for new green growth. The problem is the new green growth is already growing. And so normally I could just do a simple haircut and shave off the old grass, but now I have to be more careful. I really don't want to cut into all of these new grass shoots. So this is a little more time consuming. I have to get in and try to avoid cutting out the new growth and just focusing on removing the old. There are a lot of plants in my garden that are doing the same thing. I've cleaned up almost all of my garden areas months before I usually do. My herb bed right here with these sage plants in particular, this is another activity that I typically don't do until March or April. But I've got new growth on these sage plants, so I need to clear out all of the old to make room for the new. And like with the grasses, I have to be careful because I don't want to pop off any of these new shoots. I only want to clear out all the old, dry, dead stems and branches. This pot of chives is another example of the plant that I normally wouldn't have to tend to for at least another month, but that I have to take care of so that the new plants have space to grow. You might be thinking that this is a good thing. My garden is waking up. It's ready to start growing, and I'm getting things done in February that now frees up a lot of time in March and April. And all that is true. I'm very happy to be outside working in the garden. The problem is, I've lived in Colorado for almost 30 years, and I know this trend is not going to continue. It is going to get cold again. And when I say cold, I mean severe, frigid cold is probably going to happen in March. It does every year. So a lot of these type of plants, the strawberries and the chives, will probably be able to survive even though they've shown new growth. I'm most concerned about my trees and some of my perennial plants that shouldn't be growing right now. They should be dormant. And if they start sending up that new tender growth and we get the cold snap that I know is coming, I could look at a lot of death in my garden. That's why I'm concerned. That's why I'm starting to get a little worried. I may be losing a lot of plants if I don't take protective measures. And so I'm not cleaning up all of my beds. These outdoor strawberry beds, I'm watering to keep the plants going, but I'm leaving the old dried leaves in place to act as extra insulation when snow and ice and cold threatens. I'm most concerned about my fruit trees. I've done a preliminary pruning, and normally I would come back next month and do a final pruning, but I need to do that now before the trees wake up too much. And as I look closer at a lot of these branches, I can see the buds are soft. And on some of them, it looks like new growth is actually starting to emerge. And so when that cold threatens, there isn't a lot I can do to protect these trees. When they were a little bit smaller, I could throw a tarp or a blanket on top of them. But now, I kind of just need to hope for the best. And all this new tender growth does not get frozen off in a future storm. I'm not as concerned about plants like this honeysuckle, which, like the others, is showing a lot of new growth. I can still come in and cut back some of the old or damaged growth and get this plant ready for the season ahead. And if that severe cold threatens, this is still young enough and close enough to the ground that I can just throw a tarp or a blanket or something over it just to get it through the cold night. One thing that I find a little interesting is this warm has not really affected a lot of the perennial weeds. they seem confused too. In fact, I'm actually getting more growth on some of my regular garden plants than I am on the weeds. That's not a big issue. I'm okay with that at this point. But this good weather allows me to get out and deal with these weeds while they're still small. I can remove these little weeds from around my asparagus crowns before the asparagus has emerged. Normally, this is a battle that I fight all season long, trying to keep my asparagus bed clear. If I can do this early in the season, it should free up a lot of space and a lot of time later in the season. And I'm able to do this throughout my garden right now. It's probably no surprise that my bulbs are emerging too. I've got the crocus and the daffodils already, the tulips probably any day. Now, I'm at a slightly higher elevation than in town. I have friends in town who already have blossoms. Their crocus color is already beginning to fill their yard. And yesterday, I saw the first daffodil of the season. Unheard of at this time of year. But it does allow me to get in and see that everything is beginning to grow, to make sure I water, and maybe take care of a little bit of weeding before those flowers appear. With all this wonderful weather and getting so far ahead with my garden cleanup, one of the things I'm not doing is adjusting my normal planting schedule. It can be very dangerous, and a lot of gardeners succumb to it. I know I have in the past. The weather is good, you start seeing the plants and the seeds in the stores, and you want to plant now. It's too early. Even though the weather looks like it can support the growth of my vegetable garden, it can't. I have to wait until April and May and June to put the plants in. We may never get that cold that I suspect is coming, but it's very possible, highly likely that that cold will come. So I'm not going to start my garden too soon. I've already started a whole bunch of seeds for the flowers, the perennials, the native plants that I want to put in. But this year I'm doing something a little different. I'm anticipating that potential die-off of the plants in my garden. So I've started seeds of plants that I already have, anticipating that I might lose some of them. And the replacements are already small seedlings in my grow room. That's one of those things we don't often think about at all in gardening, replacing something ahead of time. Normally we wait to see if it dies and then we replace it. Now I'm expecting the worst. The plants will be ready as replacements. If that doesn't happen, it's okay. I've got extra plants to put in my garden or extra seedlings for my garden club plant sale. Modifying your schedule, your plan, your seed starting is a regular part of gardening. And I've done a lot of that over the years. For now, especially for this next week, even 2 weeks out, I'm going to be in my garden pretty much every day, taking care of those tasks months before I normally would. Now I have to start thinking about March and April and May. What am I going to do with all that extra time? I'm sure I can think of something. I'm Gardener Scott. Enjoy gardening.